Welcome back, Superbrain. In our last lesson, we talked about a framework for remembering names and faces. And again, I think it's one of the most important memory techniques there is because you can't show somebody you care if you don't care enough just to remember their name. So in this lesson, I want to go deeper in one aspect of that training. We talked about be suave, be suave. And if you haven't watched that, make sure you watch that first. Now the V in be suave stands for visualize, which says we tend to remember what we see, then try seeing what we want to remember. That making pictures really helps us to remember things better because we think in pictures and our visual cortex is very large and we communicate in pictures, we dream in pictures, right? When you dream, you don't see closed caption going down on the bottom of the screen of your mental mind, right? You see pictures of things. So we think and we remember things visually. So what I'm going to do is take the V in suave, the visualization, I'm going to go a little bit deeper. And how I discovered this technique is I was visiting California and we were on the piers and I noticed they had all these artists there doing portraits by the water. And one artist specifically was getting a big crowd. And I always believe that genius leaves clues. That if somebody is demonstrating something really extraordinary, that there's a method behind what appears to be magical. Just like when you see me memorize names and numbers and words, there's a method behind it. And you're learning that method in this quest. Now, after the crowd dissipated towards the end of the day, I went to her and I was like, can I help you please just kind of clean up? I just want to pick your brain a little bit. And I was helping her to pack up. And I asked her, I was like, why do you think you got so much attention here? You know, is your art or your style so much different than everyone else's here? And she's like, no, not really. And I was like, I wanted to dig a little bit deeper and I wanted to find out what she believed about her art. What does she believe about people and her art and so on? And in the conversation that we're having, I noticed she said this thing about beauty, that she believes that every single person is beautiful. And I was like, that's interesting meta belief to have. Tell me more. I was just, yeah, she's like, every single person is a little bit different. There's something that usually stands out. And I don't try to minimize it or negate it or Photoshop it, if you will. I try to just really accentuate it because that's what makes them special. That's what makes them different. That's what makes them unique. That's what makes them special and beautiful. I was like, wow. And I thought about this for a little bit. And in this prior lesson, we talk about visualizing Matt, you know, using like his tie like a doormat, or a check mark on their forehead to remember the name Mark, or Mary holding lambs, and so on. But if you want to get really specific, what you could do is actually focus on an actual feature, something that they're wearing. Maybe it's their glasses, maybe it's they have a great pair of eyes, maybe they have a great pair of earrings or a necklace, or they have facial hair, something that just really pops for you. And I created this technique called remembering names is as easy as pie. And as always, it's an acronym, P-I-E. And I'm going to teach you pie using some volunteers here in the studio. The P, first of all, stands for place. And that's where you're going to find a place on the person. It's going to be the first thing that you pay attention to before you meet them. And it's probably going to be this last thing that you see when you say goodbye. It just pops for you, right? That's the place. The I is imagine. Imagine. Now, what are you imagining? You're imagining the name turn into a picture. And finally, the E in pie stands for entwine. Entwine. Now, what does it mean to entwine something? Entwine means to put together, right? To wrap together, entwine those things. And what are we entwining? The place and the image. The place and the image we're entwining, okay? Okay, so now you know how the pie method works. Let's put it into application with some of our studio volunteers. Here we go. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Okay, so what we're gonna do, Superbrain, is this. Remember the P in pie stands for place. So you're gonna look at this young woman, you're gonna say, what's the place that just pops for you? What's the first thing that just pops for you in your mind? It could be what? It could be a clothing. It could be her great earrings. Maybe that's a little too close. I actually like this bracelet a lot. Do you see the bracelet? That's the Mind Valley bracelet, right?
Yep, it is.
Okay, so her name is going to be Miss Bracelet. So say it out loud. What's her name? Miss Bracelet. Our next volunteer? Wonderful. As you look at this young woman, what's the first thing that pops for you? What's the place? There could be a number of things. The necklace is wonderful. Lips. I like the hair. How would you describe the hair? Your hair?
Ginger hair?
Ginger hair? Okay, so this is Miss who? Miss Ginger Hair. All right, great. Thank you. All right, our next volunteer. Thanks for being here. And what's the first place? This is great. What's the first place that pops for you here? What's the place? A lot of choices here. You have the birds on her shirt. You have, what is this? Like a bow, a ribbon?
A bow, a
Oh, I like
ribbon.
that a lot. Okay. This is Miss Bow. Thanks for coming, Miss Bow.
Thank you.
All right, our next volunteer. Thanks for being here. And so if you're looking at this gentleman here, what's the first thing that pops for you? What's the place? Some people can say, what do you think your place is? This?
My head.
Or your head? Okay, so this is Mr. Smooth. Mr. Smooth, okay? Mr. Smooth. Thanks for coming.
Hello.
Hi, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Okay, place. What's the place? Can you shout it out loud? Do this with us. It could be the great necklace. That's a great necklace, by the way.
Thank you.
How would you describe that?
It's actually a recycling necklace.
Okay.
So I made of
The necklace, the one earring. So this could be Miss Necklace or Miss One Earring. Or I love the lips, right? Do you see the lips? Does your eyes go right to the lips? Well, how would you describe them? Red lips?
red lips.
This is Miss who? Red Lips. Thanks for
Thank
being
you.
here. Okay, and our next volunteer. Thanks
Hi.
for being here.
Thank you.
All right, what would you say is his place? You could have his glasses. He's got some muscles. Facial hair. What else? The cap, right? Okay, so this is Mr. Cap. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, our next name volunteer. Thank you. Thanks for being here. So Superbrain, what's the first place? What pops for you? Some people could say, well, it's her smile, right? But what if she's not smiling like an hour later when you're saying goodbye, right? It could be what? What else could it be? The green eyes? The blonde hair. I think it's the blonde hair. This is Miss Blonde Hair. Thanks for being here. Okay, so that's part one. That's the P, the place. The first thing you need to do in order to remember people's names as easy as pie is to pick the place. Now the great thing about this is can you do this before they even meet you? Before you even meet the person across a room, a busy room, you could come up with a place even before you talk to the person. So now that we have places on each of our volunteers, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna switch it up a little bit, all right? And see if you remember their place. And we're gonna ask their name and connect it to that person. Okay, so let's bring back our name volunteers in random order. Welcome back. Okay, so what was her place? It wasn't the shirt, it was the what? It was Miss Bo. Good. Hi, my name is Jim.
Hi, my name is Katya.
Katya, so nice to meet you. So what do you do here? The second part, the P was the place, and you know her place. The I is imagine. Imagine. And what are you imagining? You're imagining the name turn into an image, into a picture. So what could you picture for the person's name? Like Katya, what would you picture? What would remind, people talk about your name growing up, or what sounds like the person's name?
They would say cat.
Cat. For me, automatically cat. Because here's the thing, if you ever forgot someone's name, have you ever gone through the alphabet? Like, does it start with an A? Does it start with a B? Does it start with a C, D, E, F? You get really scared when you get to like W, because there's not a lot of names past that, right? But if it's come up with a K, that might actually remind you of what the person's name is, that K. But imagine it wasn't just a K, maybe it was cat. Would that remind you of it? So that's the I. Now the final level is the E, entwine. You're gonna put the image in the place, meaning you're gonna take the cat and put it where? On the bow. And remember, you're using action, exaggeration, you're gonna make it illogical, you're gonna make it outstanding, unusual, you're gonna make it fun, right? So we're gonna do this together. So what can you imagine the cat is doing to the bow? Just imagine the cat is crawling up and then putting on the bow. Can you imagine a bunch of cats sitting on that bow and that ribbon? Do you see it? Remember, see it, imagine it, feel it. Everyone sees it? Great. So next time when you say goodbye, I'm gonna bring all our volunteers back at the end, and when you see this, you're like, what's her place? Oh, it was the bow. What was going on with the bow? There were all these cats. What's her name? Katya. Do you see that? All right, let's do it. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
See you in a little bit. Okay, our next volunteer. We'll do this fast forward. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So this is Miss Ginger Hair. Hi, my name is Jim.
Hi, my name is Hannah.
Hannah, it's so nice to meet you. Hannah, what can you picture for Hannah? Banana? Okay, something that sounds like, right? Something that makes you laugh. And, you know, for me, remember that song? You remember that song growing up? They went like Jim, Jim, Bo Jim, Banana Fana, Fo Fim, Fee Fi Mo Mim. So Banana Fana, Fo Fim. You remember that? All right, so imagine a banana, okay? And now, that's the I. Now you're entwining. So what are you putting in her ginger hair now? Bananas. Just imagine bananas, all these bananas in her hair. Do you see that? Wonderful. Thanks for coming here.
you.
All right, our next volunteer. Let's do this. What was his place? What was his name? Mr. Smooth. Mr. Smooth. Hi, my name is Jim.
Dennis.
Dennis, it's so nice to meet you. For Dennis, for me, I use a dentist. Surprise, right? You forget someone's name, you think dentist, what's his name? You're not gonna come with Earl, right? It's gonna be dentist, right? So what could you picture? You entwine, imagine is dentist. Now you entwine those together and you put it on the place. So what do you see on top of his smooth head? What do you see? Your dentist. Now it could be teeth. What else could it be? Like dentist equipment, toothpaste, toothbrush, whatever you picture is what's best for you to remind you of dentist. Just imagine on his smooth head. Thanks for coming.
Sure thing.
See you soon. Now remember, we're going to bring our volunteers back in a little bit and we're going to test you to see how good your memory is now. Hi, thanks for being here. Now this is Miss Who? Do you remember this? This is Miss Bracelet. Miss Bracelet, right? And so, hi, my name is Jim.
Hi, I'm Lauren.
Lauren, it's so nice to meet you. Lauren. Now what would remind you a person's name is Lauren? For me, it's Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren, right? Polo? Everyone knows the Polo brand. So for me, now here's that's the image, the Polo logo. And now where am I putting it? On the what? On the bracelet. So you have the Mind Valley, and what else is on there? Polo with the horse and everything else like that. Now, if it's too small and minuscule, maybe you just make it more active. Maybe somebody playing polo comes and rips off the bracelet. Could you imagine? That would never happen. If it makes you laugh, you're certainly going to remember it. If you were walking around the day, you had a bracelet on, someone playing polo came and took your bracelet away, you 100% would be memorable to you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
All right, a couple more. Wonderful. Welcome back.
Thank you.
What was her place? Do you remember? You remember her place? We had a number of options here. This was what? Miss Red Lips, right? Hi, my name is Jim.
Dorota.
Dorota, it's so nice to meet you. What did you hear? Doritos? Remember the chips? The orange chips, and they get all over the place? Can you now imagine entwining that where? Wow, all those orange Dorito chips where? On her lips. Can you picture that? Very good. See you in a little bit. All right. Welcome. And this is Miss Who? Miss Blonde Hair, right? This is Miss Blonde Hair. Hi, my name is Jim.
Hi, Denise.
Denise, it's so nice to meet you. For Denise, I use the knees, right? The knees. So that's the image, and now you entwine. What could you imagine? The knees, the knees with blonde hair? Or knees on her blonde hair? That's an interesting image. Okay, one you will never forget. Thanks for being here.
Thanks.
And our next volunteer. Great, and this is Mr. Who. It wasn't glasses, it wasn't the biceps, it wasn't the facial hair, it was what? Mr. Cap. Hi, my name is Jim.
Hey, Stosh.
Stosh, it's so nice to meet you too. Stosh, mustache, right? So what do you picture on the cap? A mustache, a mustache. Now, remember when you're doing this, make it very vivid, right? You make it very vivid. Notice what color this mustache is. You see, when you're saying goodbye later on, what's his place? It's the cap. You know, maybe you're at a party, cocktail party. You see the cap. What's on the cap? You're like, that mustache. What's his name? Stosh, right? Okay, wonderful. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Okay, how exciting is this? Now we're gonna bring back all our volunteers and we're gonna test you. We're gonna randomize it and test how many names that you can recall. Okay, let's do this, Super Brain. How many names can you remember? Let's do it together. And remember, it's gonna be easy as pie. Let's start at this end here, and we could actually have all of us say it. This is Miss Who?
Bo.
This is Miss Bo, and what were we doing with the bow?
Put a cat.
We were putting cats all over the bow. What's her name? Say it out loud.
Katya.
Very nice, Katya. Very nice. This is Miss Who?
Bracelet.
Miss Bracelet. And what were you doing with the bracelet? What was happening with the bracelet?
Polo.
Yeah, you had the polo on there, and that reminds you of the Ralph Lauren. What's her name? Lauren. Very nice. You see how it comes back? Very good. Okay, Miss in the back here, what was her place? This is Miss Who?
Blonde hair.
Blonde hair. What was going on with the blonde hair?
She had the hair and knees.
Yeah, you had knees. The knees were there. What's her name? Say it out loud.
Denise.
Denise. Very good. Very good. All right, this gentleman. What was his place? What's his name? Yeah, this is Mr. Smooth. And what's going on with the smooth? What are you putting on the smooth?
Toothpaste.
You have all the toothpaste, the toothbrush, the dentist is there. What's his name?
Dennis.
Dennis, very good. This woman, she's who? This is Miss who?
Ginger.
Ginger hair. What's going on with the ginger hair?
Banana.
Her banana's there. And what's her name? Say it out loud. Anna Banana. Very good. This is Miss who? Miss?
Lipstick.
Yes, Miss Red Lips. What's going on with the red lips?
Doritos everywhere.
Doritos. Eating the Doritos there. And then what's her name?
Dorota.
That's very good. And finally, this is Mr. who?
Mr. Cap.
Mr. Cap. And what's on the cap?
Mustache.
The mustache. What's his name? Stash. All right, give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you. So, Super Brain, I want to congratulate you on finishing this lesson. I want to thank our audience here, our studio volunteers. Do you remember their names? The next step is to do this, is to go into the community, share with the tribe your big aha. Go around and share your success stories. I want you to work on Pi in your everyday life throughout today and share your success story in the community. That's so important. And we can't wait to see you in the very next lesson tomorrow.